welcome or welcome back to my channel History Books. Today I'm taking you on a little bit of a walk around Montreal. So a few people have asked, I guess, for a little glimpse, and I thought it'd be really nice to show you a little bit of my hometown. I'm staying in the suburbs on the island of Montreal, but still a little bit further out in the center. So I've not had any footage from that. It's, you know, like just personal life and it's fun. But whenever I've gone in the center, I've taken some footage. So I'll be able to put it in this video so you can see and come on a little walk with me. I've really rediscovered my love for Montreal. When I left, I guess I was like seeking something, you know, and which I found in Scotland, and I loved living there. And Montreal was always like the really busy, noisy, polluted city that I would come back to visit. But this time around, it's been a long time. It's been many years since I felt like this, but I've really missed it, and I've missed the beauty of it, the diversity of it, all the restaurants, and it's just so effervescent. And you know, even more in the summer, obviously, with the holidays and all the festivals. So it's really fun and it's been really nice. So without further ado, I'll just show you a little bit of my hometown, take you on a little walk to the old Montreal by the water, in the city center, just generally a little lovely walk with me. And for the second part of this video, I thought I would show you, I guess, a book haul that I've been doing since I've been in Montreal. We visited two really lovely bookshops, Port de Tête, I'll put a photo and take a video, and Le Gédéon, which I filmed at the end of this video, which is the feminist bookstore, and I love both of them. It was so nice to visit. Books are expensive in Canada, North America generally, so it was difficult. So I've tried to focus on buying books that were by Canadian authors, especially French Canadian authors, because I wanted to make sure that I bought books that I didn't have access to elsewhere, especially at home in the UK. So I'll just start by showing you the books that I bought at Le Gélion, which is a feminist bookstore. So I bought 3 books. Let's see. The first one, it just really kind of grabbed my attention. It's Yawandara et la forêt des têtes coupées. Yawandara and the Forest of Cut Head by Louis-Carl Picard-Siouy. This is, I think this is like a middle grade book, so it's really short. It's gonna be really quick to read. I need to sit down and just read it. Picard-Siouy is from an Indian background, and he actually is on the I think it's a charity or like a small business that is promoting literature from the First Nations in Quebec, and I just like to get this perspective. There's loads of books, like more and more coming out by people of First Nations, but I think it's really important to see their perspective, to encourage them, and I really loved a lot of them that I read lately, so I look forward to this one. Next is Fille Corsaire by Camille Toffoli. This is essays on love, a social fight, social battle, and karaoke. I like the cover. It really kind of sparked my interest. I like the subtitle of, you know, karaoke and social fight and all of that. And also when I looked into it, this says that this was the co-founder of the bookstore. So I thought, why not? It's a short book again, and I, you know, love a feminist essay, so why not? And finally, the last book that I purchased at Le Gélion is Sadie X by Clara Dupuis-Morancy. And oh, I guess you can see a little bit, my dad spilled some beer on it. This is a fiction work. This follows Sadie, who's left Montreal to move to Europe. I think she works in I guess like with viruses and microbiology and stuff like that, I don't know, and at some point she's kind of forced to come back to Montreal. I just liked the cover again. It's travel, moving to Europe from Montreal. I feel like I could relate to that, so I'm looking forward to read this one again. Oh, and I also wanted to show you, I'll move a bit, I bought a really nice tote bag. I mean, we love a tote bag from Le Gélion. I really like it. Feminist bookstore. It's like the meerkats, I don't know, but I like it. Yes. I also went to the charity shop. So I bought Secret Daughter by Shilpi Somaya Gowda. There is not a lot of books in English at my local charity shop. It's from a Canadian author. She was raised in Montreal from parents who migrated there from Mumbai. Yeah, it just sounded really interesting. I don't really know what it's about. On the eve of the monsoons, in a remote Indian village, Kavita gives birth to a baby girl. But in a culture that favors son, the only way for Kavita to save her newborn daughter's life is to give her away. Halfway around the globe, somewhere an American doctor decides to adopt the child after making the wrenching discovery that she will never have one of her own. Okay, I'm guessing it's going to be like a weaving of these stories, which sounds very interesting. I don't know if I'll get to this before leaving, and I'm not sure I'll be bringing it with me to the UK, but I'll be here waiting for me at some point. I also got The Maid by Nita Prose. This was from the charity shop, so it wasn't this price. Clearly someone bought it at Costco and then gave it. Anyway, so it's really funny because I was actually just on Nyx from Nyx Reads channel, and she was recommending this book, and I kept saying, like, I keep meaning to get this one because she keeps recommending it. And I commented on that, and the next I went to the charity shop and I found this. So I was like, yes, definitely. So I got it and I have it and I'm really pleased. Next we went to Port de Tête. This is a bookstore. Library is the word in French. My mind is so in between. It's a bookstore on Montreal, the Avenue, and it's actually over 3 locations. They have a section for more children literature. They have one that's the main bookstore, and across the street they have another location that's more like essays and nonfiction. So went there. I bought 3 books from the main one. So the first one is Enfants du Lichen, or Children from the Lichen, by Maya Cousineau-Mullen. She is a poet of Innu background, so it's First Nation, and that's been my favorite poetry book that I've read up to now. It was really, really poignant, really good, really powerful, and I really enjoyed it. Next I bought Nous le lac by Emmanuelle Tremblay, or Us the Lake. So she's from an area called, what is it called? Saguenay, and right next to it there's like a big lake. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but this was a really bizarre book. I'm not sure how much I enjoyed it. It was really experimental, really bizarre. Sometimes I had to take a lot of time to read it because sometimes the sentences didn't make sense to me, like, so it was interesting poetry. I'm glad I read it, but yeah. And finally the last one was Femme Forêt, or Women in the Forest, by Anaïs Barbeau-Lavalette. I think this is a fiction book, like a novel. I'm not sure what it's about, but it just really attracted me. It's also bizarrely long. It says, two families are reunited in a centenary house for far too long. Okay. Winter is piercing the walls. Mouse are making their home in the piano. I don't know, the vibe was just really attractive to me, and I feel like I've heard this author's name before, so I thought, why not? Let's try it. So that's another one of the novels I'm going to try to read before going in a few weeks. We'll see. And in the nonfiction section, I had bought two books. The first is Manuel de Résistance Féministe, or the Handbook for Feminist Resistance by Marie-Ève Surprenant. This just looked really interesting. It's from one of my favorite publishing houses in Montreal. It's very like feminist, very like progressive, and yeah, I like that. Hey, editing Camila here. I realized I didn't say the name of the publishing house that's in Montreal. It's called Les Éditions Remue-Ménage. It's really good. Highly recommend. And this looks a little bit like basically what to respond when people use these typical anti-feminist like arguments, and so I really like that. It's kind of giving you a little bit like to talk about or like to retort, so that's nice. And the second one is Toutes les femmes sont d'abord ménagères by Camille Robert. That's translating to All Women Are First Homemakers, and it's the history of basically the feminist fight for the recognition of home. Oops, my books have fallen. Of the work in the household, basically. And yeah, so it's looking at mostly Quebec in the 60s, 70s and 80s, and there's been a lot of work around that time, and yeah, I just thought it sounded really interesting, like history-wise, and to learn about it. I like the title, so yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. I've started reading this one, so yeah, it's only 20 pages in, but still quite good. And the other four books I wanted to mention are books that actually my mom bought, but have I read all of them? No, not yet. I will read all of them though. The first one is a little poetry book by Ocean Vuong. I think I'll read it. I mean, I can read in English, and his poetry is originally in English, so maybe I'll skip it, but we'll see. My mom's in the middle reading it, and she said it's quite heavy, but yeah. Then I read I Am the Enemy by Karianne Trudeau-Bonoyer. This was a poetry book. Which one was it? They've all blended. Like over the last week or so, I've read so many poetry books, they're all blending together. But I think I like this one. I don't really remember. Maybe it was a little bit experimental as well. No, actually I like this one. This was my second favorite. Yes, because I remember that I didn't love this one. This is Pendant que Perceval tombait, a poetry book by Tania Langlais. This is While Percival Was Falling. And this was also bizarre. And I think I read this like in an hour, just sat down and read the whole thing because it's quite short. Like, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So, yeah. And finally, the last book is Menthol by Jennifer Bélanger. This is, I think it's just like a novella. It's like a short story. And my mom read it. She said it started quite heavy, but it got really good. So I'll be hoping to read this as well. So yeah, so these are all the books that I've bought or been reading, or my parents have bought since I've been in Montreal. I'm hoping to read all of them before I go, so I can just leave them here. Especially a lot of the poetry books I'm starting to get under my belt, so I can leave them and my parents can read them as well. But yeah, it's fun to discover new to me Quebec authors, more like contemporary as well, because I feel like most of the Quebec literature I've read in the past was like for school and stuff like that. So it was a lot of like classics, I guess, and it gets old, like literally and metaphorically. So yeah, so it's been really nice, and I really like it, and I'll be preparing a Quebec recommendation as well. So if anyone wants to read Quebec literature, and I'll be looking at what's translated as well for people who speak English primarily. So thank you so much for watching my vlog of Montreal, and also for this book haul. It's always fun to go through books. Thank you for watching, and I see you back. Bye!